second affiliate window webinar of 2016. Today we'll be turning our attention to the latest affiliate marketing trends. My name is Kevin Edwards, and today I'll be presenting with my colleague Matthew Swan. Rather than focus on some of the obvious trends that have been well covered by industry, such as the general growth of mobile and the need to engage with the long tail, we tried to take a more granular approach and focus on some specific aspects of those more sweeping concepts. We've also tried to pick out some less obvious developments within the affiliate space. Today's webinar takes the 10 trends identified in our latest white paper from January that can be accessed on the Affiliate Window Strategy Hub at awinstrategy.com. As always, if you have any comments or questions, you could submit them in the webinar dashboard. So without further ado, let's start with the first trend that we think will start to register with more and more marketers in 2016. Smartphones as conversion devices. Despite accounting for 1 in 3 clicks and on average 1 in 5 sales, smartphone strategies have barely registered more than a footnote in many business review meetings. As an industry, we need to recognize that we fundamentally failed to understand what smartphones can offer advertisers in the affiliate space. Of the top 100 largest affiliates on the network at present, only 5 could be labeled a mobile specialist, despite a sizable minority of them driving the majority of their clicks via smartphones and tablets. On Boxing Day 2015, Affiliate Window tracked 30% of our sales via handsets for the very first time, so the opportunity and imperative to understand mobile behavior couldn't be more obvious. At the heart of the issue is a topic that some companies have disappointingly failed to tackle: how to track and reward handset traffic and sales. The historic picture has always been that handsets are fantastic at driving interactions, but fail on converting those clicks into sales. And for a cost per acquisition model, this presents an obvious challenge. However, that picture is changing. In this graph, you can see how the conversion gap between desktop and smartphones is closing and has actually halved in the 3 years to January 2016. There are various reasons for this. An increasing number of advertisers are running mobile responsive websites as standard, which means that whilst Awin's mobile fix ensures those with m-commerce sites might mitigate the loss of affiliate sales, that the importance is diminished. Increasing optimization of retailers' mobile offerings continues to also have a positive impact. There's also been a shift away from tablets and in fact negative year-on-year growth in sales as mobile traffic shifts to smartphones, indicating consumers are now more comfortable transacting on what is no longer a new and untested device. An increasing number of cross-device sales are also being tracked by the network, and smartphones over-index on the number of cross-device sales tracked. As Awin pushes this in 2016, expect it to factor more prominently. The final point we believe is most interesting. Cross-device tracking, more on this later, shows us that it isn't that smartphones don't convert, simply we're missing a critical piece of the jigsaw that shows early sales funnel influence. The trend for mobile traffic seems to be ever upwards, especially at the weekends and bank holidays, when almost 60% of clicks could be driven by smartphones and tablets. We do, however, need to acknowledge that much affiliate tracking is simply not robust enough to accurately reward all handset sales. Clearly something needs to give, and 2016 could be the breakthrough year.
Honest rewards for honest sales. That advertisers want to get more return for their spend within the affiliate channel is no surprise. However, one of the trends that has recently gained momentum and risks undermining the business model is commission erosion. Advertisers will always want to understand the value of affiliate sales, and they will use a number of metrics to determine this. This could be factors such as new versus existing customers, average basket values, click-to-sale lag times, or even the affiliate's position within the path to purchase. However, there is a difference between assigning a value to an affiliate sale or interaction to pay the affiliate a commission rate that reflects this value, and choosing to view the channel as a bargain basement way of pulling sales in and cutting costs. With the channel already being a cost-effective way to generate additional sales, to chip away at the commission earned not only damages an affiliate's potential to make a campaign viable, it also risks devaluing the whole channel. This commission erosion could be caused by each of the factors on this slide. Deduplication against other channels, not to mention other affiliates, returns, cancelled orders, untracked sales, lack of mobile tracking, and an inability to track cross-device transactions, amongst others. Few would argue there aren't valid reasons for many of these stipulations, albeit done in a transparent and fair way that weighs up the pros and cons. But where the goalposts are being moved is in the introduction of additional arbitrary measurements that many affiliates have little control over. Increasingly, advertisers are choosing to pay low, or indeed no, commission on certain sales, typically because these sales are from existing customers. And if a program is driving as many existing customers as new, then clearly affiliates' earnings can be halved overnight. There are certain affiliate promotional types who can control the types of customers they attract to a degree, as they can offer a mechanism to drive certain sales. Cashback and voucher code affiliates, for example, are able to do this to an extent. For content-based sites, the type of sites advertisers are keen to attract, there are no such levers. What is clear is that advertisers should not take a broad brush approach to commission setting. If each of these were applied across a program, around 80% of commission could be eroded. Honest rewards for honest sales should be a mantra networks should unify around to ensure already heavily scrutinized affiliates can continue to make a living from the CPA channel. And we have a white paper available on our strategy hub that provides our thoughts on the hidden commission killers.
The data privacy challenge. So 2016 marks a watershed for data privacy in Europe. Decisions made at the tail end of 2015 will have an impact on everyone working within the digital industries over the next few years. In December last year, the European Union passed a new piece of legislation that will become law in each of the member states. While each country has some time to ensure the regulation is implemented locally, the head scratching about what it means for us all will begin in earnest. The new General Data Protection Regulation, or the GDPR, was first proposed in January 2012 and aims to update data protection laws in light of the fast-paced changes in the digital landscape. It also seeks to implement them in a consistent way across all member states for the first time. So why should I care? Well, any company handling, processing or storing data will be impacted, and almost all data will be considered personal, even if it doesn't directly identify an individual. How is this different to the cookie law? Well, the Privacy Directive was focused on cookies and how they were used for marketing. This data regulation is much broader in scope. It's also a regulation, not a directive. In other words, it has to be literally transcribed universally across the EU and will become law automatically. So what does it mean in practice? Well, the fact is that none of us know yet. The law will come into effect in 2018, giving us 2 years to get our houses in order. The IAB has already stated that the regulation will have a significant impact on the digital industries. These 5 points will be critical. Scope. Almost all data will be labelled personal data and will be covered by the law. This is likely to cover all aspects of digital advertising, as mentioned. The regulation will also apply to international companies who have customers within the EU, so being based outside of it will not exempt businesses. Processing of personal data. The regulation allows for several ways to process personal data, but we're not certain how digital advertising, especially as it varies considerably by what and how data, personally identifiable or otherwise, will be impacted. Profiling. People will have the right not to be automatically profiled. In other words, not have any aspect of their data used by companies without their consent. Fines. Organizations could be fined up to 4% of annual global turnover in the event of a data breach. And then finally, data protection officers. All companies handling a substantial amount of data will need to hire someone dedicated to data protection. As mentioned, it's important to remember that member states have 2 years to find and implement solutions so that the new regulation is effective when it comes into force in 2018. This year is likely to be consumed with companies getting to grips with the fallout from the GDPR.
CPA challenged. An encouraging trend that emerged last year was conversations were beginning to take place across the industry to discuss alternatives to the last-click CPA model. While the model is not fundamentally broken, it is clear that an acquisition payment model for certain affiliate types does little to reflect and compensate the value they offer to advertisers. Bloggers, niche interest and content sites typically struggle to convert on a last-click CPA, yet the value they offer as influencers within the early phases of customer journeys should not be ignored. The understanding of affiliates' ability to influence sales shaped one of our key product launches from last year, our Payment on Assist functionality. This has allowed advertisers to roll out additional influence payments to top up last click CPA. A number of our advertisers have already taken advantage of this opportunity, with a selection of them shown on this slide. I particularly like the shoe example. Here, affiliates were offered top-up payments of £1 for every sale they influenced but didn't convert. And if they were effective at driving early interest but not conversions, then Shoe would top this up with £50 for 10 such assists. It's important to remember these campaigns are typically focused on a narrow group of affiliates who have been identified based on their brand fit, ability to engage relevant audiences, and or their early funnel activity that last click CPA doesn't acknowledge. Other networks are beginning to follow suit, with Affiliate announcing an update to their assist reporting just this week. As customer journeys become more complex across multiple devices, the data shows how many of the affiliates these campaigns target drive significant mobile traffic. More casual and exploratory in nature, such handset traffic could potentially look to alternative business models outside of the affiliate channel if the industry cannot come up with something more creative than last click CPA in acknowledging contribution. Certainly, without alternatives, cost per click campaigns could be far more financially attractive. A tough and complex picture to make sense of then. It isn't just about moving to a different model, it's about understanding customer journeys, recognizing the variety of affiliate models, taking account of early influence, mobile traffic, and thinking creatively beyond the boundaries of a business model that has existed for more than 2 decades. It's a challenge we have to tackle head on, as it presents the opportunity to showcase the long tail like never before. Simplified language. Affiliate marketing has long appeared to many as an impenetrable dark art, quite separate from mainstream digital. 2016 will see the industry continue to align itself further with brands as familiarity with some of the concepts central to affiliate marketing generally grows. One criticism of the affiliate ecosystem is the language used. Awash with acronyms, there is also a sense that various terms and expressions are arcane. It's not that the industry shouldn't strike a chord with advertisers, more that we sell our services and, more importantly, the benefits of our services badly. Where the landscape has changed in recent months is growing interest in influencer marketing. Last year saw a number of articles claiming it to be the next big thing in marketing, following hot on the heels of content being the buzzword of 2014. Influencer marketing crosses over with many of the initiative affiliate marketers are focusing on: blogger engagement, social media, and brand advocacy content. The fact that Forbes has claimed that influencer marketing will see an explosive growth, coupled with the potential of the affiliate channel to tap into this, is a huge positive. The critical area that affiliate marketers have to nail is positioning. Influencer marketing is emerging into a standalone entity, so it's absolutely critical that our channel is able to speak the same language, as well as provide the right tools and technology for social media channels and sites eager to monetize their content. And that extends to payment models. Pressing the point raised in the previous trend, it's time to get creative with commercial models. But it's an age-old challenge for affiliate marketing. Failure to communicate the message in the right way to the right audience could result in us being shut out of significant revenue opportunities in 2016. The final image on this slide is a headline from a report by eConsultancy on influencer marketing. The affiliate channel was not mentioned once, highlighting the scope of the issue and how important it is for us as a channel to use consistent terminology.
Turning a critical eye to voucher codes. Voucher coding growth continued apace in 2015 and will undoubtedly thrive in 2016. But it will also be imperative for key stakeholders to ensure standards are upheld. Not only will this be necessary to guarantee its future as a credible source of sales, but it is also essential in attempting to maintain some sort of equilibrium among the varied sources of affiliate traffic. It is probably not unfair to say the industry has taken its eye off the ball in monitoring the use of voucher codes, and moves to redress this are now in progress. Since the world's first voucher code of conduct was launched in 2012, additional iterations of the code have emerged in order to react to a changing landscape. But in parallel, some of the individuals involved in imposing the code have exited the industry. Fortunes of networks have fluctuated, and voucher code sites have shifted focus and priority. As a consequence, standards have slipped. The code has been broken, and the collective will to resolve it has waned. Take the examples here. Previously, they would have indicated an advertiser site would be opened with the consequence of a cookie being dropped. That message has almost universally been dropped by many of the major players. And let's not forget, the code was launched to avoid potential advertising backlash about what could have been perceived as bad practice and misleading consumer messaging. The inference of codes of conduct is an unwritten commitment to upholding the spirit they evoke. Ask what best practice looks like and build with this in mind, rather than how possible loopholes can be exploited. Codes of conduct exist because they show the outside world that affiliate marketers are mature and experienced enough to be able to hold a mirror up to themselves and identify what needs to be fixed in order to professionalize and build more robust campaigns. This is something the affiliate channel has typically done exceptionally well. Where the codes and best practice guidance come under pressure is when commercial considerations supersede the desire to do the right thing. Now is the time for a concerted, combined network effort to redouble efforts in enforcing all the codes of conduct and best practice standards. For networks, this represents an opportunity. The industry is fragmented since the code was first incepted, but now is the time to show that they are the gatekeepers of the industry. This webinar is actually quite timely, as this slide shows action is currently taking place to address the issue raised on the previous slide. And incidentally, you can access the code of conduct and associated documentation on that link you can see there on the slide on the IAB website. The cross-device penny drops. Cross-device will inevitably be a trend for 2016. 12 months ago, Affiliate Window brought the tech for the affiliate channel to market. And this year will be about taking stock and optimizing for the second phase. Other networks will possibly follow suit. If they don't, they risk fundamentally falling behind the mobile curve. There have been some murmurings around data privacy. However, the data in the way that we use it is encrypted and is used for tracking rather than marketing purposes. And that's a really critical point. In fact, networks have been capturing certain data sets that are similar to those needed for cross-device, such as cashback sites member IDs, for years. At the heart of the cross-device topic is tracking and wanting to reward for sales the network was previously unable to. Cross-device isn't a nice-to-have or an add-on for more enlightened advertisers. It should be standard, next-generation tracking. Without it, advertisers are not recognizing early funnel and mobile traffic who are under-indexing. Possibly because these are often smaller affiliate types, the message struggles to make headway. But without a concerted effort to push the new standard tracking, the industry risks being left behind. Since we launched cross-device, around 150,000 additional sales have been tracked, and additional fascinating patterns have emerged previously unknown. Let's consider, for example, click-to-sale times. Our previously linear single-channel latency times have shown the vast majority of sales converting within a very short space of time from when the interaction is recorded. So much so that with 3/4 of sales happening within a 24-hour period, it becomes hard to argue for maintaining 30-day cookie windows. However, when looking at the percentage of sales that occur within that same 24-hour window after the initial click on cross-device sales, we can see that this number plummets to around 1 in 6. This starts to transform how we view affiliates from being expert converters to early funnel influencers. So what else does the data show us? Well, cashback and loyalty sites, and to a lesser extent voucher sites, are less likely to be involved in a cross-device sale. That these affiliates typically dominate discussion about affiliate marketing in day-to-day dealings perhaps gives an indication why it is seen as less of a priority. In fact, content, social, and price comparison, often the affiliates advertisers want to engage with most to take their programs to the next level, are those that will typically benefit most. This graph shows the percentage uplift in the yellow stars for a major advertiser who implemented cross-device tracking. The percentage increases as you move left to right across the graph. The clear outlier is mobile-first companies who could potentially double their earnings if cross-device was enabled across the board. Again, such little conversation takes place about mobile in the affiliate channel, probably a reason why. This indicates the journeys they're involved in are far more complex and over longer periods of time. Cross-device demonstrates how failure to optimize for mobile could be shutting off a significant new revenue stream.
Getting creative with data. The ongoing challenge to unveil meaningful data insights will continue apace with a step change in how people perceive and access affiliate statistics. Affiliate marketers have been used to using a fixed set of reports available through some interfaces that haven't dramatically altered in look and feel for over a decade. In the fast-paced world of digital, that seems crazy. With so many budgets shifting into programmatic or automated optimization, the ability to unlock affiliate insights has long presented a headache to those working within the channel. This year, a concerted effort must be made to pass to networks additional data parameters in order to model new reporting suites that sit outside of traditional dashboards. We have started to make good progress, but in a relatively isolated way. Certain clients have specific dashboards built that focus on metrics that are specific to them. For example, travel clients can pass back dozens of additional data points in the form of custom parameters. Data points such as stay dates, the number of rooms, the location of the hotel, and whether the reservation is full or half board can all be passed back. This in turn builds a powerful data set when you're able to profile every affiliate on your program and tailor promotional material accordingly. As more advertisers pass us back this data, it will lead to greater sector insights. But for this to work, we need to ensure that the custom parameters that are being passed back have a level of consistency within each sector. Telecoms is another sector that is data rich, allowing for greater understanding of the products purchased and how this varies by location, dependent on broadband speeds that are available, for example. The beauty of business intelligence reporting suites is that they can be iterated extremely quickly and offer huge flexibility to individual clients for their specific needs. They also empower account managers to make better informed and more targeted decisions. Global retail events. Our trends roundup wouldn't be complete without reference to some of the major retail events that fueled growth within the channel. Last year, Black Friday firmly established itself as a UK online shopping phenomenon, pushing Cyber Monday firmly into second place. The chart on the left of this slide compares the share of sales and revenue driven across Cyber Weekend in the UK. Black Friday saw 42% of the total revenue across the weekend, while Cyber Monday was some way behind with 22%. If we compare what we see in the UK with what happened in the US, we see a flip in this trend. Perhaps not surprising considering that Black Friday is traditionally an in-store event in the US, although more spend is now also moving online. The chart at the bottom right considers the importance of Black Friday across all territories within the affiliate window and Xanox networks. This looks at the total sales and revenue across a 30-day period and plots how much of the total was driven on Black Friday. With the average being around 3.5%, it's clear to see the countries that are over-indexing, with Brazil demonstrating just how big Black Friday is. Previously limited to a Chinese audience, Singles Day dwarfs Black Friday and stands as the biggest online trading day in the world. Initiated by Alibaba and designed to appeal to single people, this retail event that falls every year on the 11th of November has now spread in reach and awareness, and 2015 saw a 172% increase in revenue recorded by the network from China. The sectors we have seen perform well within China are health and beauty and clothing, in particularly fast fashion. Increasingly, advertisers are building out global marketing calendars and also anticipating events they can harness for the affiliate channel. We recently launched our marketing calendar for 2016. Expect a greater focus on smarter execution this year.
And our final trend today is about UK internationalisation continuing apace. So Matt's previous point neatly transitions into this last trend. The importance of certain international markets will become ever more apparent to UK advertisers this year. Benefiting from the UK's sophisticated digital economy and infrastructure, the demand for products and services from British retailers shows no sign of slowing. What is particularly noticeable, however, is how certain products appeal to certain markets, as well as how certain countries are growing in general importance. Cosmetics and beauty products, as Matt has just mentioned, dominate alongside other niches that UK retailers have made their own, such as bicycles and associated accessories. Fast fashion also performs strongly, another sector that the UK generally excels at. Outside of the impressive growth in Asia that Matt mentioned, network data from the global Xanox group showed huge increases in performance in Brazil. Brazil has specific challenges for British retailers, as do many other markets internationally. But aside from huge growth markets, what of the mature European marketplace? Broadly speaking, those Anglophone countries of Northwest Europe remain attractive propositions. A combination of excellent delivery options, extensive product ranges, and affordable prices make British retailers particularly desirable. Almost all of the affiliate window retailers pulling in the highest percentage of overseas online sales are also pure play operators, leveraging their online skills to break down the fluid digital borders. Affiliate marketing shows that physical borders matter little in the online world. We anticipate that the UK will dominate the network's performance this year and into next year, but overseas sales will continue to encroach on that position in 2016. And that completes the trend that we believe will have an impact on the channel in 2016. We have concentrated on tangible and measurable concepts that have already started to gather pace rather than looking further into the distance. We've also omitted some topics that we know are referenced frequently, such as attribution and app sales, as we believe these are important, but not impactful enough to warrant a further consideration here today. We hope you've enjoyed today's webinar. Remember, you can access it via Affiliate Window's YouTube page. The team also publishes a monthly newsletter that you can sign up for on the Strategy Hub at awinstrategy.com. Thank you for listening. Keep an eye out for future webinars on the Affiliate Window blog.